Back to Hardball now for the sideshow. Nelson Mandela's death yesterday has caused this country to pause and reflect on the legacy of a man whose imprisonment helped to turn world opinion against South African apartheid. In this country, that process started with an historic measure that passed with such bipartisan support that it was able to override President Ronald Reagan's veto. It was the Comprehensive Anti-Apartheid Act of 1986, which imposed hard economic sanctions on South Africa and also called for the release of political prisoner Nelson Mandela. Bob Dole voted for those sanctions, so did Mitch McConnell, and so did Newt Gingrich. But among those who put themselves on the wrong side of history was Wyoming Congressman and future Vice President Dick Cheney. He voted against the measure repeatedly that year and stuck to that position. In 2000, Cheney said he had no regrets opposing the measure. Last night, Fox Television, Bill O'Reilly and former presidential candidate Rick Santorum took a weirdly different approach in assessing Nelson Mandela's legacy.
I've spent some time in South Africa. He was a communist, this man.
Yeah.
He was a communist, all right? But he was a great man. What he did for his people was stunning. The sacrifices that he made. He could have repudiated it and got out of that prison. He wouldn't do it. He was a great man, but he was a communist.
You're right. I mean, what he was advocating for was not necessarily the right answer, but he was fighting against some great injustice. And I would make the argument that, you know, we have a great injustice going on right now in this country with an ever-increasing size of government that is taking over and controlling people's lives, and Obamacare is front and center in that.
What O'Reilly said just then really is 180 from the charge others have made that as the first black president of South Africa, Mandela leaned too much toward businessmen and capitalists and big corporate leaders in encouraging them to invest and stay invested in South Africa. As for Santorum, equating the fight against the Affordable Care Act with Mandela's fight against an organized system of white supremacy is absurd. Much more on Nelson Mandela's legacy, including my interview with him on the eve of his presidential victory back in 1994. You're watching Hardball, Place for Politics.